You read all of it? Good. Good. Okay. All right.
You got to turn your.
You. Oh, wow. Gases. Oh, she's going to come now. And Jackson's going to come now. All right. Share screen. Whoa. Oh, I got to open this up. Whoever's talking, stop doing that. Elmo. Image mate. Oh, it would help if I turned it on, wouldn't it? And also if I turned that on. If it would wake up, it would be great too. There we go. Where be the camera? Where is the camera? You read it fast?
Yeah, we read it fast. As soon as the other person stopped, you said this person goes.
Okay. See, I got through it quickly. Okay. Start Elmo. I want to say hi to my friends. Whoa, where'd it go? Well, where did Zoom go? Zoom. Oh, there we go. Hi, my friends.
Hi.
Those of you who are, I realize today is Nerd Day. So don't look quite so nerdy with my mask on, but you know, hello. All right, so.
Good night.
Good night. What? You going? Here, I'm feeling great because I just got nerve blocks, so I don't have a migraine. Okay. So apparently my friends that are in class have already read this article, but they went through it quickly. I'm about to make them sad because we're going to go back through it, but we're going to go through it slower. Yes, I know. Bummer, right? Bummer. Darn. Okay. Expansion of language. Yes. Is it now? I bet it's going to appear in about 3, 2, 1. Bam! There it is. Okay. Is that better? Darn it all, it appears. Yeah, I got it to appear. The nerd teacher got it to appear. Okay. Does everybody have this article in front of them? Great. All right. We kind of already knew the first sentence. Native Americans were the first inhabitants of North America. Approximately 12 million Native Americans occupied these lands and spoke approximately 1,000 different languages. So yesterday we learned that about 90% of them died of diseases, right? So I'm doing a little math and I'm going to find out how many of them died of diseases when the Europeans came here. If there were 12 million when the Europeans came here, that means 10.8 million died of diseases when the Europeans came here.
So that's so many people?
10.8 million Native Americans died from diseases when Europeans came here. That's a lot, isn't it?
Because of DeSoto.
Not just from DeSoto. They're saying Europeans in general. There were British that came here. There were French that came here. There were Dutch that came here. There were Spanish that came here. And remember, it wasn't all intentional. Early on, it was accidental disease transmission. Later on, Europeans realized what was going on and it wasn't all accidental, but at first it was accidental. But 10.8 million Native Americans died from disease transmission. That's a lot. That's a lot. Yes?
Then why did it, so did they keep on doing it? Why, how did they do it on porpoise ladle?
they would give them products that they knew Europeans had used, knowing that like cotton holds germs. Cotton is tightly woven, like our clothing is made of cotton. This shirt is made of cotton, and it's tightly woven cotton. So if I had an illness, if it was bacterial, it would be in the cotton fibers. If it was a blanket, you know, blankets tend to be really thick, especially wool. Yes, but they tend, and coats too, they tend to really hold in germs because they're so tightly woven. I was just wanting to give you guys a quick figure on how many people died as a result of diseases. Let's keep going on the lesson, okay? And approximately 1,000 different languages were spoken by Native Americans, because it wasn't as if every Native American belonged to the same tribe. They did not. There were lots of different tribes, and there were lots of different Native American nations. Not everybody was united in one nation. They had different tribes. They belonged to different groups. Okay. When Native Americans and settlers interacted, communication was often an obstacle. Initially, Native Americans did not know the settlers' language, nor the settlers know native languages. Settlers and natives would communicate through gestures and body language. You've heard me make comments before, in here especially. I remember making this comment to Trip before. Stop trying to communicate with people at the table, and he's like, I'm not talking. And I would say, I don't mean with talking. Haven't I? I've said with the non-spoken gestures, right? That was the initial means of communication between Native Americans and Europeans. It was the non-spoken communication. You can speak through gestures, can't you? You guys do it all the time. The non-spoken things, hand movements, body movements, gestures, a lot of communication that goes on without speaking. You guys know that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's keep rolling. With an increase in contact, some traders, trappers, and Native Americans evolved into translators as they learned the language of one another. In 1770, an English explorer named John Lawson, here we go, and a group of 8 Englishmen and Native Americans is set off on a 500-mile, 2-month trek into the Carolina backcountry. Lawson relied on the Native Americans as translators to communicate with his hosts, and generally showed himself to be an attentive listener rather than an arrogant European intruder. So was he acting like the Spanish had acted before? He was acting very different than the Spanish had acted, right? Being a polar opposite of what they had been. He also recognized how diseases like smallpox had decreased the population of the Native Americans. Lawson also recognized that there was a potential for future tensions over trade and land as European settlements spread west. By 1770, European nations such as Spain, France, and England had been in North America for over 150 years. Many Native Americans were either forced to adopt or adopted the language of these European nations. For example, Native Americans along the Mississippi River adopted and spoke the French language. Why would the Native Americans along the Mississippi be speaking French? Who was living in that area? The French. That was in the middle of Louisiana Purchase area, wasn't it? Native Americans learned the French language so they could trade and communicate with their French neighbors. Because we already learned that in the French-owned area, everybody living there was only allowed to trade and purchase from whom? France. All right, turn to the back. Bless you. Native Americans in regions such as Florida and California experienced different interactions with the Europeans. The Spanish who had colonized these regions had used force to control the Native Americans and their lands. The Spanish required the Native Americans to submit to the Spanish religion and their government or face death. Many Native Americans submitted to these demands and adopted the Spanish language, religion, and way of death. A way of life. I'm sorry. Someone just texted me at the same time. I'm sorry.
You say that sort of him then. He was from Spain.
Miss Sparks texted me. She wanted to know what time I arrived. Okay. And way of life. On the East Coast, where the British settled, Native Americans helped contribute to the survival of colonial settlers. Farmers adopted Native American agricultural practices and crops, such as corn and tobacco. Over time, the British and Native Americans both fought and assisted each other. So there you have, what were those terms we talked about yesterday? Whoops. What were those two terms we talked about yesterday? Fought and got along. What is it? Conflict and cooperation. Good. Many Native Americans in this region began to adopt many of the ways of the English colonists, including the English language. Europeans also have adopted Native American languages. More than half the states found in the United States have names associated to Native American words. States such as Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio, Texas, Nebraska, and Kentucky all come from Native American names. Okay, so there were some things that I wanted you to add that you might not have put in your notes to do with expansion of language. Did you put in your notes why the Native Americans learned the European language? Okay, if you don't have that on that top box, you need to add on there why the Native Americans.
We can't see your page.
Okay. So in this top box, you need to write a note about why the Native Americans learned to communicate with Europeans. Why did they learn some of the European words? Okay. Let me get you a Band-Aid real quick, Audrey. Did you happen to write anything about many places having Native American names? Okay, I'm gonna write that on mine, okay? Many places in the US have Native American names, yes. Watch is being weird. Okay, now in the bottom box, did you write something about why Europeans?
You can't see your screen.
What's that?
We can see your screen.
You can't see my screen?
Yeah.
No, you can't see the page that you're doing.
Okay, let me try sharing screen again. Share screen. Okay, can you see it now? Oop, let me try it again.
Yeah.
Oop. How about now?
We can see it.
Okay. In the bottom box, did my friends in class write why Native Americans learned European words? Okay, because we need some kind of note down here about why Native Americans had to learn European languages. And then some kind of notation, and I'm going to write this for my notation, about how European words were spread around Native American people. So I'm going to write, since Europeans took and colonized Native American lands, European languages were spread, bless you, and forced upon Native American people. Which language in particular was forced upon Native Americans? Spanish. But even where it wasn't forced upon Native Americans, if they wanted to trade their goods and make sure that they weren't being ripped off on a trade, wouldn't they need to know the Europeans' language so they'd make sure that they were getting a good deal on what they were trading? They would need to know the language. They need to share a language, right? Yes, Trip.
Did the Native Americans meet up when they would trade, or would they just meet at a different spot?
We're going to look at a picture. I think it's on Friday's test. I think that's where we'll see it. That shows Native Americans going into a European merchant shop. And in the picture, they have furs across their back. So I guess that's where they're bringing their items that they're trading to Europeans. Blurry looking in it.
Yeah, because
There we go. So they brought it into the European shop to trade their items. I guess it kept them out of the weather, the inclement weather outside. So they would bring it, at least in that picture, they would bring it inside to the meeting place. So we've seen another picture, they would meet them beside the river, right? Well, in the top box, you need to also say that Europeans learned Native American words. Both sides had to learn each other's words to be able to communicate. Pretty important. How would I be able to teach you, and how would I learn from you what you're getting from a lesson if we didn't have shared language? It'd be pretty difficult, wouldn't it? They would have to share some kind of communication. Having gestures and non-spoken communication are go so far. They got to learn some kind of shared communication, be it pictures, words, something, so that they know what each other is trying to communicate. They've got to have something shared. So in the top box, you need to say something about Europeans learning Native American language. Okay. Has the age been gone the whole day or no? Whole day. If you- Ooh, someone keeps on chatting. Let's see what all this is. A lot, yes. Okay, so your paragraph on the back, it looked like a lot of people had already done. Explain how European colonization caused the spread of European languages. Your topic for this is already on the board. Everybody saw that, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you want to go back and change anything that you wrote based on what was just added to this or not. I'll leave that up to you. That's your choice. Okay? Hey, Sean, it looks like you're distracted again. Lucky for you, I have plenty of time to make that call today that I didn't have yesterday. I was setting up for myself yesterday, but I don't have that issue today. Okay, so if you need to make any changes to your paragraph, go ahead. That's the topic, so topic sentence on the board. If you wrote a different topic sentence that was using your prompt, go with it. That topic sentence is using the prompt. I would think you guys would have noticed that big orange sentence on the board. I mean, I wrote it big and bold.
I thought it was just this part.
People didn't notice the topic sentence on the board.
I like it.
So get busy. I will be grading your 3-question quizzes from yesterday. Yes, hey, Sean. Do you use the topic sentence or topic sentence similar? And you have 3 detailed sentences and a conclusion sentence. And it flows together like a paragraph like that, not a list of sentences. Then it goes in the purple tray. Okay? And then the content and text goes right here. Jalen, somebody down. Someone's pictures on you get that the desk take on. All done? All right. You have a math packet to finish? No, you're all done with it? Do a book or do you have that handwriting book to work on? Okay. Good job. That was all the paragraphs. I can read it. Legible. Perfect. Right. With a name on it. It has to have a name on it. Guys, your paper has to have a name on it. I'm not guessing who wrote it. Very cool. Little point of those fingers, but it's cool.
Miss Vanderbilt, what I was gonna ask you is, how does the Native Americans get the diseases? Like from
It could be
bugs?
directly from someone breathing. It could be directly from someone coughing. It could be with water. That would be a stomach virus. It could be that the illness was on a blanket that the Europeans gave them. It could be it was on a pen that the Europeans traded with them. It could be that when the Europeans gave them a gun, the bacteria or the virus was on the gun that they traded with them. It could be all kinds of ways.
never know. You never know. The Europeans could have been sick or something, and the
That's
Native
what I'm saying.
Americans.
The Europeans have immunity, and so the immunity would keep the European healthy, but that means they had the bacteria, so they passed it on.
And it spreaded. So it
Spread
spreaded.
fast.
It spreaded.
Spread, not spread it, spread.
Spread.
Spread is a spread.
Like, well, there your Native Americans in like the whole U.S. and the Americas. Like, did all the Native Americans come up to
Yes, they're
America?
all in the, 12 million.
Even in California.
Yup, yup.
Man, how did that many die?
Because they had no immunity. All right, let's go sit. All right, friends, when you're finished, put your work in the purple tray. Bring your text over here. There's a stack of them already. What's that for you? I've already graded it. It's already been graded. You put your copy in there, blue, blue folder. Okay? I'll have to look that up. Let's go ahead and follow it off. I'm saying I want to pull that off. Yeah, I don't want to pull that off.
Do the Native Americans have names?
Yes. Okay, Sean, come here, please. Read. You have that packet. You can work on that. Maybe your handwriting booklet. Border. All right, there's a lot of talking. Should there be any? No. I have people that are finishing their work. And when you're writing, it's really hard to do when people are talking. You've already turned it in. You didn't do well on it. I've already taken it up. Okay. Overall, you have a C in my class. It's a pretty good grade. Right? A B.
Money. I'll take it. What do I have to look like?
But it's 1 point away from the B, Jalen. I see it on class. Guys, I need you seated and not talking. I have people trying to write their paragraph. That's hard to do when there's a lot of distracting noise. There's a pink pencil on the floor beside your desk, Kyle. There's a green colored pencil under your desk, Aubrey. And there's a pencil on the floor next to your desk, Travis. And there's talking.
Lucas, do you know how many points I threw out there?
Okay,
You're
so
not getting any.
expansion of language, guys, you have this in your packet, topic 1, early expansion. I'm sorry, early exploration. This is in your packet, okay? And then the paper to write the paragraph on is also in your packet, okay? And then tomorrow's exercise is also in your packet. Okay? And Friday, we're going to take our test to get out of this unit. So tomorrow I'm going to go over all the questions for the test. Excuse me. So tomorrow I really need my students to show up so they can see the questions, hear the correct answers. And you can either meet me so I can give you a physical copy of the test, because I have all the tests printed out here beside me on the floor. I can meet you to give you a printed out copy, or I'll also have it posted on Dojo and you can print it from Dojo. I can also email it to people if you'd prefer that. I will post this front and back on Dojo in just a few minutes. Okay, it's a text that goes with what we just read. And of course, you already have this in your packet. Okay. If nobody has any questions, excuse me, I'm going to shut this off. The topic sentence, let me get this written on here so you guys can see this. So give me just a second to copy what's on the board onto this visualization. Caused the spread of European languages.
Oh, your screen's not showing.
Okay, this is not showing. The Elmo's not showing right now.
Yeah, it's not.
Let me share it again then. I don't know why Elmo keeps shutting off. I need you to go sit down, Aaliyah, because I'm trying to help my virtual students. Is it showing now?
No, I still can't see it. I can see the paper.
I can.
You can?
I can see the paper. Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Throughout the Americas.
Yeah, I can see the paper.
Okay, so here is your topic sentence for your paragraph. Then I need at least 3 detail sentences and a concluding sentence. So I need you to take a picture of your notes after you've completed them. Of course, I need a sentence at the top of your note.
Miss Vanderveer, I still can't see it.
Okay, who's having a problem seeing it?
Me?
Who is me? I've got 2 people on my Zoom.
Lucas.
I'm going to close this down. I'm going to restart it again because you're the only one having problems seeing it. So I'm going to restart it again, okay?
Okay.
See it now.
I still can't see it.
Okay, Lucas, the only thing I know to say, because I've tried it, I've restarted the Elmo 4 times now, is
Lucas, do you see a piece of paper?
what is it?
I was asking Lucas if he could see a piece of paper.
Yeah, can you?
No, you can only see gray.
Okay, the only thing I know is maybe on your ends, Lucas, is maybe something's wrong with your Zoom. So try closing down Zoom and coming back into it
Okay.
because Megan and Jackson can see it. But I need this paragraph along with the completed notes returned back to me today, okay? If you can. That way I can get all the grades updated, all right? My friends that are in my class physically, I need you to not talk. Yes, so do I. We're done with the lesson. So that's it. Megan, you can leave when you're done.
Bye.
Bye-bye, babe. Okay, can you see it now, Lucas?
I can see it.
Okay, good. So this is your topic sentence. Then you need to add at least 3 detail sentences and a concluding sentence, okay? And then take a picture of this and also your page of notes, okay? I'm going to show you the notes real quick. These are the notes that I gave, but I also need you to add a sentence at the top that talks about how Europeans adopted many Native American, they learned many Native American words, and that Native Americans learned many European words, and add those 2 sentences in your notes. But here is that topic sentence too, okay? I'm gonna leave this up for about another minute, and then I'm gonna shut down Zoom. All right, the talking over there on the side of my room needs to stop. Has everybody finished their paragraph? If you have, wow, guys. I should not hear that talking. Okay, you got it, Lucas and Jackson?
I got it.
Okay, you got it, Jackson? Okay, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and shut down the meeting then, okay? And I'll post it
Okay.
as fast as I can on YouTube, all right?
Got it.